Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight another class in a series of classes on Libra ascendant and Venus and the different signs. Tonight we'll be talking about Venus in Leo. Venus and Leo is an interesting combination. Leos always want to be the center of attention. Leos want to be they want to be the center of attention. They want people to admire them, to appreciate them, to love them. When you have it as the Venus in Leo, they want to be admired, they want to be attractive, they want to be considered, especially women, they want to be considered beautiful and attractive and things like that. And so that's the Venus in Leo. When it's the ruling planet, so the person really wants to be. They want to be admired. They want to be appreciated. They want to be well liked. They want to be They want to be important. They want to be the center of everything. I've seen a lot of women who actually have this combination, and they're somewhat anorexic. A lot of them, I've seen a lot of anorexic women who have this combination because it's so important to them to be admired for their looks, right? Because Leo is admiration; they want to be admired, and Venus is the looks, the attractiveness. So they want to be admired for what they look like. And so I find a lot of women actually that have this that actually got into trouble with like eating disorders and things like that. That's one thing I found. What's an example? I guess I can't think of the example. I was just trying to think of an example of a chart that I had recently, and I sort of lost it. But okay, but in any case, and also Venus in Leo, besides anorexia, it also I've seen it in lots of models. They have it. Because they want to be appreciated for how they look, so they want to be models, and they want to show off their body and their appearance and things like that. So I've seen also lots of women, lots of models. When I started out actually in astrology, I lived in a building where my neighbor, this was in New York City. In the late 1960s, and I lived in a building where my next door neighbor she was a model, and I did her horoscope, and this was when I first started out, and she really liked it, and she used to send me all these models, her model friends, to come and have their horoscopes done. So I was sort of an expert in the horoscopes of models when I first started. I think like the first 50 horoscopes I saw, maybe 45 of them were models. And so many of them had Venus and Leo. I remember that. I made a notation that, Venus and Leo is a good sign for models, if all other things being considered. So it's all special when here Venus in Leo in the Libra rising is going to fall usually in the 10th house, in the 11th house, but sometimes it will fall in the 10th house. We're going to do a chart tonight of somebody, a woman who is also a model, and among other things, and she had it falling in her 10th house. So it becomes, especially when it's career, when it's moving towards the career, right, of Venus and Leo in the 10th. So it's going to be a career in that area. Or in the natural way, it should be in the 11th house. So then the person will have friends that are very, they want to be surrounded by attractive friends. Especially if it's a man, they'll want to have a lot of female friends and things like that. If it's a woman, she'll also be They want to be in high society and things like that. They want to travel, in the fast lane, in the fast circle, because that's, Libra and Leo. They're together. They're very, very social. That combination. I want to look at a chart tonight. I've actually have a woman who was a Jewish woman. I found out she was Jewish. Actually, the truth is I never heard of her before. I thought of her from her name, Paula Abdul. I thought she was, Arabic. And I looked up history. She has Syrian Jewish parents. They're from Syria. They went from Syria to Greece. From Syria to Brazil, and then from Brazil they moved to America. And she grew up there in L.A. And she became from an early age. She was very interested in dancing, and she became a cheerleader. That's again, it's that Venus and Leo. They want to show off their body and they want to dance, and there's a very artistic combination, Libra rising with the Venus and Leo. Right? Leo rules theater and acting. Remember also. So when you got Venus and Leo, it's a very theatrical type of ruling planet, and so she had that, and she was. She became very unusually successful. She became like the cheerleader for like one of the top basketball teams, and from there she became a choreographer. Also, she did choreography for like a lot of talented people. And she also was a dancer and other things. But if you look at a chart, you'll see that the Venus is tempered by being exactly opposite Saturn, right? Not exactly opposite, but 7 degrees, and they're double approaching, right? You see Saturn is retrograde, and Venus is going forward, and they're moving towards each other. And so that's gonna again when you have Venus is artistic and Saturn is the career, so it tends to make all sorts of Venus Saturn aspects tend to make a career that's connected with Venus. Venus helps the Saturn sort of tempers the Venus. But in any case, that's going to hold her back a little. It's going to impinge on her love life, of course, and she had like all these women in the fast lane. She's been through at least 3 or 4 marriages. All of them, lasted about 2 years. Not a good track record at all. She has that Venus opposite Saturn, so she has her hang-ups. Even though she's seems like she's in the fast lane. She's not going to be without her hang-ups because that Saturn opposite Venus, it cools her down a little. Saturn is cold, right? It cools down that Venus. But she also has Mars. If you look at her chart, she has Mars. But Mars is in a very loose square to Saturn, but a loose square to Venus, and a tighter square to Saturn, right? And the Mars is in detriment in Taurus, and there rules her husbands. So her husbands were very, I would say they were very money oriented, and Mars and Taurus can be the most physical of the signs, the most the person who wants a lot of base stuff. They don't have like the high ideals. The Mars is the drive and the person's drive, and Taurus is women, money, having a good time, and so the people with that she didn't choose the best. Let's put it this way: she didn't choose the best quality men around this woman. You can see that from that, and their ruling planet is square to hers. You always look at the ruling planet of the person and how it aspects. If you want to know about marital relationships, you always look at the ruling planet of the of the ascendant, which is you, and then the ruling planet of the 7th house, which is the ruling planet of the partner. And you look at if are they approaching each other, that's a good sign that the marriage will continue. Are they separating from each other? Maybe it'll grow cooler over the years. If the ascendants are unconnected, they just don't have a connection. Sometimes people get married and then they realize they're just not connected. And, sometimes they'll be trying, and that's more conducive to flowing smoothly, the marriage. Oppositions to each other would be more struggling in the marriage. But you can learn a lot just from looking at the ruler of the 1 and the ruler of 7 and how they interrelate with each other. So anyway, I thank everybody for listening tonight, and I hope they enjoyed the class.